Hi, Caitlin. Okay. Um, so yeah, I'm just gonna, you guys saw the announcements, right? The bazillion announcements. How many, did any of you watch? I know like Tina, she's not on, but she watched, I think she watched the closing ceremony. It was long, but it was awesome. Did anybody watch it, get a chance to watch anything?
No.
Okay, so you weren't there live when it, or not live, but like when they announced him, because I think it's like so epic when they do it. And then when I like did that post today or whatever of like all the announcements, I'm like, oh, that was kind of a like it doesn't feel as cool. I don't know. Anyway, so first I just wanted to ask if you had any questions about any of those or talk about those. Actually, let's not start with that. So I want to talk about the announcements and like why does it matter? Why are they cool? I want to talk about a couple of my takeaways from Summit, but really I was like, I'm not really going to like, I got a lot out of the workshops and everything and the speakers, and I have a million quotes written down and ideas and like all this stuff. But what I want to give you guys, like you guys can go listen to all that stuff too. And you know what I mean? Like, I don't think it would be helpful for me to just like regurgitate all the training because, you might not all need that specific workshop, or you can go and listen to that workshop and apply it to your business. So that would be really boring, I think, if I did it. But what I did want to give you was like convey how I feel and like how, just like what the experience was this time and like kind of the bigger picture that I got. It was actually like a really, this was the hardest summit for me, to be honest, because like my first one, I was a new coach. It's just epic. It's amazing. I mean, they're always amazing, but your first one is like, you'll never forget ever, And then my second one was just as great and everything. And this time I brought Jake, which was different. It was like good. It was pros and cons, like great because he was able to like drink the Kool-Aid. You know what I mean? Like I was like, I'm going to brainwash you. Like, not that he's supportive and he like believes in Beachbody. He believes it can, he believes in that I will retire him. He does, but I wanted him to like feel the energy and like see the company, like the corporate side. So that was great. And I have his takeaways or some stuff that he said. But it was also harder because I wasn't like rooming with my friends. I was, you know what I mean? And I was with a baby and I was recovering from pneumonia. So it was like this, it was just a really, I like cried one of the days. Well, I cried a lot, but I cried Friday. I had to miss the workshops because I was just did not feel well and I did too much. And so I came back. I was like, I need a rest if I'm going to make it the rest of the time. So I did. And I was just like feeling sorry for myself and whatever. And even like, as I left, I felt like I missed a lot. Like there were and that's just my personal experience. I missed a lot. I had to leave. I was late. I had to go nurse, just things like that. And, but as I finally started reflecting and started to come down and started talking to Jake on the way home and started to like think about everything and write things down, I got super pumped up and excited. And I was like, no, this was epic still. Like this was amazing. It was different. It's different, I think, I don't know, it was different, but it was awesome. So kind of like the biggest thing that I feel like I wanted to convey or like I was the most excited about wasn't even the announcement. Okay, well, I should say it's twofold, two things. Number one is with the announcements and just the way that Beachbody does stuff and just like I'm like, why are announcements that exciting? Like that shouldn't be that. Usually announcements are like the part that you want to miss at church. If you're at church, I don't know. Like it's always like, it's just announcements. But I was like, that was like my favorite night. And I was so excited. And I was like, the reason it was so exciting is because to me, it gives me so much more trust and belief in our company that like, we're always changing for good. We're always evolving. Like they created that daily sunshine, like Elizabeth Deichler. That was her idea, which Carl is our CEO. That's his wife. She's the co-creator of Shakeology, right? So it's like the reason behind it. Like they're not just doing it for another sale. It's like there was a problem. They needed a solution. Childhood obesity is crazy. And they went like above and beyond what they could have. Like Shakeology is not certified organic. Shakeology is not certified. You know what I'm saying? Like pediatrician approved. Like it's not, because that would be very, very expensive because of all the amazing stuff that's in Shakeology. So there's still amazing stuff in Daily Sunshine, but it's not the same. You know what I mean? Like it's not like Shakeology, but yet they got all those certifications, which I was like, holy crap. Like they got certified gluten-free, certified non-GMO. So I was like, this is so great. Like, it's not just the product. To me, it's like showing that they're listening. So there's a coach advisory board, which I hope to one day be on. There's a coach advisory board, and it's made up of coaches, and those coaches listen to their downline, and then they have meetings and they talk about how to make this company better. So anytime like something's rolled out, whether it's a product or like a way that our business structure changes, coach advisory usually had a little bit of something to do with it. So that, I don't know, it just like gives me so much trust and faith, I guess, just that like they were listening and that was something that, was a solution or whatever. So the other thing, so that's the one main thing that I got. And the other thing that I got out of it, or like the biggest kind of overall, was just the belief in me and in you. Like because now this is my third summit, and I don't know that I've always believed that I could be an elite coach, or I believed those things, but I didn't really, it was like a super blind faith. Like, yeah, I'm going to do it, but I didn't necessarily like know, like do the work to get there, I guess, if that makes sense. And now like meeting people that are just a little bit further ahead or whatever, and like knowing what they do, that we do, like, what do they do? What do we do the same? And what do they do a little bit different, and things like that. I'm like, no, it's totally like, why aren't I doing this? Like what? It's very, very possible. And our team I couldn't help but like compare our team to some other like elite teams. And I was like, our team can totally be elite. Like we're amazing. Like my coaches are awesome. And like, so that was exciting, because I don't know that I've ever really felt that way, like that deeply, like, oh, like, yeah, it's not just an empty goal. It's like, I don't know. So anyway, it was really cool. It was really cool to see, I met a couple on the airplane. She's 5-star. I'm 1-star. She's 5-star. She's been coaching 3.5 years. I've been coaching 2.5 years. So it's like, she's just a little bit further, and her and her husband, like they both just do Beachbody. Like they don't have other jobs. And she has a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old. So like, and I think she's actually from Wisconsin, but we were on the same flight. And so like, just those kind of things. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Just that kind of stuff. It was just like reiterating, like, yeah, I mean, I know this is my dream, but I need to revisit these dreams. And so that was a big aha for me, because I have can you see, some stuff fell off of that in the right corner, but that's my vision board or whatever that I made in January. And to be honest with you, sometimes it's like more discouraging than it is encouraging, because sometimes I look at it and go, oh, I missed that goal, or like, oh, I'm not even close to this and stuff, because it's for this year. And so then I get discouraged, or I act out of fear. Like I'm like, oh shoot, I have so much to go. So then I like, everything I'm doing is out of a place of fear. And one of the things that I don't know how I learned it, if it was like a workshop or just cumulative conversations, was that's not where I need to be acting out of. Like goals are good and measurement is good, but they should always come out of your dreams. Like someone said, like, write down, and I did this when we first started coaching. I don't know, Amanda, if you did this from the, I think it's an assignment in that planner, that new coach planner, or maybe it's in the TKO training, but I remember I did it as a very first coach, where they were like, so the assignment is like, think about if you woke up tomorrow and had unlimited money, unlimited time and resources, like no barriers. What would you do? Like, what things would you want to accomplish? Like, what would, like, just no limits. And I wrote that down as a brand new coach, and it was ugly. It was not a pretty dream board. I just wrote in permanent marker, why. It was my why, like, why, what's my big why? And then I had like all this stuff around it, like ranging from like, you know, wanting to adopt someday to like traveling to Ireland and Italy and a lot, like all these places, like being, like just all my wildest dreams. And I wrote them down, and some were smaller, like owning my first house, which we've done. But anyway, so when I would look at that as a new coach, or like I would say even beyond Diamond, like when getting me to Diamond, I looked at that every day and I was like, it excited me. And I knew that if I did these habits every day and stayed consistent, eventually these dreams, like I will be able to have this life. And so I stopped doing that. And I instead I went with looking at goals, like I'm going to be this rank, or like blah, blah, blah. Like, so that was a big aha for me, that there's a difference. Like goals are good, but you have to have the why first, or like the dream first, that excites you and makes you happy. And so that way, when you're busy or you're sick or life happens or whatever, or you're feeling discouraged or you got no's or coaches quit, like the millions of things, it doesn't bother you, because it doesn't slow you down, because your habits, you know, are making your dreams happen. Like you're like, well, I got these dreams, so I got to do these habits. So that was really helpful. And then somebody else said something about like, I wish I could remember how they put it. Like, instead of constantly looking at your goals, like instead of constantly measuring yourself by what you have achieved or what you haven't achieved, like, am I Diamond yet? Am I blah, blah, blah? You should constantly look at your habits and your actions. So like, did I send 10 invites today? Did I connect with these people today? Like whatever, like the habits that you do. So I thought that was very eye-opening for me, because I have some really good habits. I've gotten really good at a lot of things. I feel like I'm pretty good at most things on my power hour. I've got a lot of habits that I can do in my sleep. I can do when I'm barfing. I mean, they're very easy for me. But there's a few that have now become for me, and have become something that I don't do very often, like inviting or start like, so yeah. So I'm like, okay, it was a good magnifying glass, I guess, which magnifying glasses aren't always happy. You know what I mean? Like they're not always like great. It's like, oh shoot. So I'm really fired up though, because I'm like, no, I can do this. I don't know what I'm like. I don't know. I just had all this self-limiting doubt and stuff, like, and I feel very, it's just very exciting. It's exciting, especially like being a part of our TKO. Like there was 210 elite coaches this year. And like TKO had like 38 of them. That's pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like, just that, like, and knowing that, like, I don't know, a lot of the systems that we use and stuff are what these elite coaches are using. So anyway, okay. Let me see anything else that just like, yeah. So I would encourage you, like, to try to go through some of the summit material when you can, like the Darren Hardy's talk, you know, and the Brendan Burchard for sure. He was really good. So just like working that into your personal development schedule in the next month or the next couple weeks or something. So yeah.
Say those names again.
Darren Hardy.
Okay.
Now, I will say that I liked his talk, but it was similar to the compound effect.
Okay.
So, but you know, it's different when you hear them like give us talk about it. So I think that he might have sent me the talk in my email, but I know that Beachbody does put them out. I just don't know exactly when or like where to look for them. Like Molly Mitro, hers is already up. So you can go listen to hers. So what they do at Summit is like, just to give you an idea, it's like Thursday night and Saturday night are like the like recognition, celebration, announcements, Carl, talk. Like it's like more like a party, but like, and the transformations are on Saturday night. Like it's like epic, like this energy. And then in between there, Friday morning and Saturday morning, we have main session. And that's when the main speakers were Darren Hardy, Brendan Bouchard, and Chalene Johnson. And oh my God, Ashley, I have to re-listen to Chalene's because I was late because I went to the Mommy and Me workout thing. And I only caught the last 10 minutes and it was like amazing. And everybody, like, I don't know if you know, in the Beachbody Champions page, they asked like, what were your takeaways from Summit? And like so many people were putting Chalene's talk on there. I guess it was just like,
I wanted to be there.
So but what I'm saying is I think that we can re-listen to it. I know we can. I just got to figure out how. So yeah, and Eileen said, she was like, if anything else this summit, this is the one talk that she felt like, she would have paid whatever to hear, kind of a deal. So those were the three main speakers, but then also during the main sessions, they have a couple of coaches, like Melanie Mitro's the top coach. They had Mendy Wender. So they had a couple other ones. So I would hearing those is good too. And then the workshops. So I got 1 day of workshops and they're like brief. They're like spitfire, like here's the topic, here's what we do, here's our advice. And they're just very like down to business about that topic. So like getting coaches started right was one. And where did I? Yeah. No, wait. Was that it? Getting social start. I think that was called Getting Social Skirt. I'm not actually. I don't think that's what it was called. Shoot, I don't remember what it was called. But like it's like I took so many notes, but it was like a 15-minute talk. Like they're just like super fast. I don't know what it was called. Creating a Culture of Belief. But anyway, so those were all great. But you can kind of like sift through and see when they come out, like which ones, like it's like a 15-minute thing. So you can be like, I want to learn about this, or I want to be better about this, or whatever. So what the heck was this one about? Nikki Whiting and Micah Folsom. It was really good. But I think it was about building confidence. No, I don't know. I can't remember. But anyway, and then Julie Voris and Miguel, they did one all about objections, which I actually thought I don't need this, which is weird. Like I was like, like before, like when I signed up, I was like, whatever. But it was awesome. It was really good. Like objections are your opportunities to share your story. I was like, well, that's really good. Like objections actually work for you. Like you should be excited. Like you're waiting for the objection. It's not like I'm scared of the objection or like I'm posting out of, okay. And then as soon as you get it, you're like, okay, that's fine. Bye. It's like, no, you're ready for the objection because that's how you share part of your story. And that's how you get them to work for you and not against you. And I was like, that's really true because I kind of expect objections now. Like I do wait for them. Like I know that, is it money? Is it time? Is it fear that you're going to quit? This is how I can answer that, but you have to have personal belief. Like that was really important. Anyway, so yeah, that was one that I went to. And I don't know where the other ones are. But Chalene's was a lot on Ashley. It was a lot like, don't be a carbon copy. Actually, that was kind of a common theme. I got a couple common themes just like in general from people. And it was like, be yourself. Like share your story all the time and be who you are. You don't have to be another coach. And I was like, dang. That's true. Like, or you don't have to please everybody. You're trying to attract your best friend. So that was like,
and she threw a lot in there about like, not,
oh, did you hear it?
Like, don't, no.
Oh,
she's,
but you hear her all the time. Yeah. What?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Did she put in there a lot about like don't say what you're trying to sell, that kind of
Yeah,
stuff? Like
something
just
like that. Like, don't
show it, be it, but like make people engage you.
Yes, it was a
Kinda?
lot about that. Like, make people
Yeah.
curious. Don't be like
Yeah.
spitting out all the details. And like, I was like, oh, frick. So yeah, I was like, be mysterious. And I was like, and I had heard that before about like Shakeology. Like,
But it's the way she says it.
yeah,
Where it's just like, oh,
yeah,
all right.
so good. And I guess she did work in there somehow to have more sex. So
Yeah, she's
she did that 2 summits ago. She gave like she wasn't even supposed to speak, and she like felt compelled to, like, because like so many coaches, I guess, were like ignoring their husbands basically and stuff, and like diving, of course, like you're diving all in, you're making sacrifices, but she was like, you need to, like, you're basically like just promoting that you need to, your marriage is important and stuff. But anyway, so
her
yeah,
and her husband are adorable.
they are. So yeah, she talked about being in, like get them to ask you. You don't have to be like spewing every detail on your page, or like, and I'd heard that about Shakeology, like we don't always have to be like Shakeology and BOD and stuff that like no one knows what that means, or like sometimes just having the shake in the picture, people, but you're not even talking about it, then people are like, what are you drinking? So and just being yourself, and everything, and not being a carbon copy. So anyway, I need to re-listen to that one because I know I missed stuff. Darren Hardy talked about, like, we all enter the world naked, scared, and ignorant, and then our choices define us. And like, he said, like, success, I liked this, like, success is not heroic. It's not about, not heroic facts. No, not heroic something. Feats. Not heroic feats. It's not a grand act of bravery, and it's not quantum leaps. I was like, oh, it is small, seemingly insignificant choices, which Compound Effect talks about that too. But I think for like coaching, I feel like that's extremely helpful in, like, I feel like a lot of times coaches and myself, we think like, oh, we'll be successful if I only had a website, if I only had this big thing, if I pay for this training, if I like, then I'm going to take off. If I, you know what I'm saying? Like, we think it's like this big thing or this shiny object, but really it's never is. And that was super, I know that I know this, but it was just such a good reminder to hear from, because all the workshop speakers were top coaches. Like, none of them were like 2-star, you know what I mean? They were all like 15-star diamond, or like all of them. And so usually I almost like prefer not to, like, I prefer to hear from someone not as successful, because I'm like, well, I can't get there, but I could get here first. So usually it's not as relatable, but it was awesome to hear from them, because like Micah Folsom is a double superstar, and she's like the most normal, real person ever. Like, she got recognized on stage Friday night, and she, like, all the other girls on stage, the superstar diamonds, are like in like super fancy gowns, and Micah Folsom's in like a white, like, casual shirt with like jeggings. It was hilarious. Like, that's just, who she is. But anyway, my point was, hearing from them was like, everything that they were saying was like, they're like, this is what I do. Like, now, like, I still do these things. And it was like, oh, so like, it was the basics, like, and their conversations that they start, and their inviting, and their sharing of their stories, and their personal development. I was like, okay, so it's really not anything crazy. It's just the basics over time. So that was helpful. And then, so yeah, I have a bunch of notes, but I don't want to like bore you with all that. I mean, it was great, but I just think you would get more out of it if you heard it from them, if that makes sense. For me personally, because Jake asked me, he was like one thing or two things what are you going to do? Because it's like, you can't do everything. You can't like change, you know what I mean? Like I can't have 20 action things unless they're like slow over time. So he's like, what's like the first thing or like the most important thing that you need to do? And I said, I need to get a morning routine. Like for me, I've been saying that for like a year and a half, and I'll try it for like a week and I don't do it. And so I was like, I really need to, because so many coaches talked about what either a morning routine, most of them, or like incorporating daily affirmations. And to me, it's just like, it's so hard to do that for me to say, I am an elite coach, or I am a great mom. I teach my kid, like whatever it is that you want to be, you say them, even if they're not true right now. And I was like, and that's just always been so hard for me, because I'm I'm not an optimist. Jake is an optimist. I'm not. I am the one who struggles with doubt and disbelief. So when I don't feel like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just so hard for me. So that was a common theme that I kept getting.
Hey, can I jump in?
Yeah.
So I just heard in I think it was a podcast. I don't know. It was something for like daily affirmations. He changes whatever password you have to type in, like for your computer or whatever. He changes his password to be whatever he wants to repeat to himself. So like if you want to be an elite coach, your password is, I will be an elite coach. And then you change it like once a month for whatever your small goal is, or, whatever you want to work toward, so that you have to type it in, a million times a day.
That's a really good idea. I love it.
And you can't help but say it over and over and over, because you have to type it.
And, because I know that's true. Like, I know that what we're telling ourselves, and what do they say? Like, what record do you have playing in your head? And a lot of times we don't even realize how negative that record is, or like what exactly.
Mine's a lot of bad music.
Yes. So I know that, but it's like, I've never really done anything to fix it as far as that. And I think like, just for my family's sake too, like for me, it's got to be in the morning. As much as I hate it, I try to do coaching, when they nap, or when this, or later at night, and I still do, but it's like my mindset is all over the place.
Well, and other stuff has to get done too.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm a better mom when I can do that stuff first, because I'm doing daily affirmations, I'm being quiet, I'm like praying or reading, listening to personal development, whatever. So I'm like feeling really good. And then I would be doing my connections. I haven't started this yet. I'd be doing my connections at least. Maybe I might be able to do the rest of the power hour later, like checking into a challenge group, like checking into team page, posting on social media. That stuff is so habit for me. I can do it anywhere, anytime. It doesn't affect me. I don't need quiet. I can add friends anywhere. You know what I'm saying? But for me, connecting with people, like making a list and messaging people about life, or inviting them to coaching, for some reason, right now it's not a habit. So it's something that I need to get done. And then it's not looming. Then I'm not like, oh, Jake, like, because I'll have days now where like I feel like I worked all day while I was with my kids, which is not good. And then Jake comes home and I'm like, no, I need to work. Like, I didn't get any time, or like I didn't work. And he's like, well, I don't get it. And it's because like I didn't do like a focused anything where my mind was right. And so it feels different. So anyway, that was a big thing for me. I was like, I need to freaking just buck up and do this. Get up, make it a habit, and that way I can be unplugged, like I can do those little things when I want, but I can just like be with my kids and not think about it or whatever. So I had the other one written down and I don't remember where it was. Daily affirmations.
As much as I hate to say it, the last month and a half that I've been getting up at 5, I've been a lot more productive.
Yeah. Productive. That's the word. That's what I'm thinking about. Like, I'm not as productive if I just like try to wing it all day. anyway, so yeah, so that was a big thing for me. And then I did tell Jake, Jake he didn't get to go to a whole lot, but just being there and conversations, and he went to a couple things. He got to hear Brendan Burchard, but he said, he was like, I knew that he believed more. Like it's beyond just like, yeah, babe, that dream probably, yeah, I believe that will happen. To now it's like, he's like, okay, how can I help? Like, let's do this kind of a deal. And that was exciting because I was like, oh, good. Like, it's like us together, kind of like Amanda, when you signed up and your husband was like, he was like asking you like, okay, what do you need to do? Like, I like that. Yeah. Like when spouses are like, let's make this for real.
Too involved.
So he asked me, what could I do? What's something? And I was like, well, so we talked about it, and tracking is one thing for me. I'm just sharing like my stuff, but for me, tracking is something that I suck at. It overwhelms me, and I definitely think that it has stalled my business. Like, and what I mean by that is like, if I had been intentional about writing people down or keeping track, following up, I feel I would be further along faster. And so I just let a lot of people fall through the tracks. I rely way too heavily on people messaging me, and then that's who I respond to, instead of like, there's people, so I have nothing. I have no system. I know there's Teamsy. I know there's Streak. I know there's pen and paper, but for some reason it just overwhelms me. So we talked about that, and he was like, okay, so he's going to research whatever, and he's going to help me. Like, he's not going to do the connecting. I want to do that, but then he will help me keep it organized or tracked or whatever. I was like, okay. So that was cool. And then I told him, I was like, I just need you to be my encourager. Like, I'm like, I feel like I do an okay job, like encouraging my coaches or my challengers, like reminding them of their potential. Like, I was just sitting next to Melinda at Summit, and Melanie Mitro's on stage, and I'm like, Melinda, like, I'm going to be an elite coach one day. Like, it's going to happen. Like, our team, like, we have tons of elite coaches on our team. They just don't know it yet. And I was like, but you're going to be top coach. Like, I told her, I'm like, you could be Melanie Mitro, because Melanie Mitro is very, like, she's extremely disciplined. Like, she's just, and that's how Melinda is. And I'm like, there's no reason that you can't be a top coach. I mean, not any one of us could be a top coach. But for me, like, I haven't given up watching Big Brother. Like, I haven't given up. Like, I'm not necessarily willing to sacrifice as much to be top coach, but I'm willing to sacrifice a lot to be a 6-figure earner and to be an elite coach and to retire my husband, like, no doubt. But anyway, so I was telling Melinda that. And so I'm like, told my husband, I'm like, I feel like I'm pretty good at like telling people their potential and like showing them like, you really could, like, whatever, but I don't do it to myself. So that's where I struggle. And I was like, if you could do that for me, like, if you could remind me and encourage me and stuff. So he's like, okay, yeah, I can do that. So that's kind of like what I got. But it did give me like visions for next year and stuff, like, especially with it being in Indianapolis. I'm like, this is amazing, because like most of our coaches are from Illinois. Like, it's just going to be so much easier to get to,
Yeah.
And it's so much fun seeing, like, it's just so fun. And I think part of the beauty of Summit is doing stuff as a team. Like, you're just, you go to the super workout together, and like the team tank tops that we had, and like, so we definitely missed you guys. Like, it was still fun and everything. It was great, because we also, we don't just hang out with our team. We hung out with Kirsty's team too. And my other success partner is Becky, and she didn't really have any of her team there. And then Lisa had a baby while we were at Summit. So
she's busy.
Yeah. So her diamond is Courtney, and Courtney was there without any of her team. So like, we all hung out. Like, we're just one big happy family, big team or whatever. But it's definitely like, I wanted my girls to, like, I was like, I miss Ashley.
My entire Snapchat feed all weekend was Summit it. And
Was it really?
I was telling my husband, I'm like, I'm so jealous.
Yeah. So like just.
And then they said Indianapolis. I'm like, I'm going. I'm letting you know right now.
This is happening.
I'm going. He's like,
yeah.
All right.
Right. So I'm like, we need to get to me, I'm like, wouldn't it be fun to have like a house and like all of us there? And even that way too, like people won't bring their spouses. It's fine. It's not weird. Like to be in a hotel room, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's just kind of like what I envisioned and stuff for next year. And like, I also like, this is my goal. So I can't impose this on you guys, but what I vision is like, all of us are down on the floor. Like every coach is recognized for at least one star. You know what I mean? So I'm like, cause it was awesome. It was really cool to walk with Eileen. Like I feel like it wouldn't have been as cool by myself. I've never done it by myself, but I don't think it would have been as cool by myself. And Kirsty too, she was down there for 2 stars. So it was really fun. And we snuck Melinda and Bethany down the next day anyway, because they were not checking. So we were like, come sit with us. Instead of being in the nosebleeds. But anyway, so it was exciting. So I just wanted to see if you guys had any, like, yeah, when you were watching Snapchat or just the announcements popping through, like you were thinking anything or excited or weirded out or had questions. I don't know, Amanda, you were pretty busy this weekend with the wedding. You probably like didn't.
Yeah, it was busy.
Yeah.
I did see the Indianapolis, and that was kind of fun to see that it was closer.
Yeah.
So that seemed more of a possibility.
Sure.
Jimmy said have fun taking the kids. You could take them to the Children's Museum, but okay.
You're like, no.
Oh.
Yeah. He'll have to come too then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll bring their families. They just can't, the kids just can't come in.
Yeah, no, he was joking.
Yeah.
He's quite the jokester.
What a joke.
So he thinks.
What were the announcements? So yeah, Clean Week. That probably, I don't know if you guys realize how epic that is.
And Kirsty's announcement about that's pretty freaking awesome.
What? That Tom's in it?
That her dad's going to be in it? Yeah.
So Clean Week, what is cool about Clean Week is it makes our job easier because we don't have to run a clean eating group necessarily. So it's like, my understanding is like, they get a week of this clean whatever. I don't know. I don't get how it's going to work, but they get a clean week of food, like meal plans, and then they get a week of the workouts, like access, and then they get, if they want the Shakeology, they get 7. I think they get to pick their flavors.
That's awesome.
I'm not sure. There was like some customization there. So they get like the full experience for 1 week. Like, hey, try it out, you know? And that way, so yeah, I'm not really exactly sure. Like I
looked for a little more info on there and it was pretty basic as of right now, but it's a while before that comes out. So
yeah. What is it?
I'm sure they'll release one in September.
And then
November is the partner one.
Okay, so that one was really cool. Like watching, because Tony Horton came out on stage and like watching the video, and like that was another moment where I just felt like Beachbody gets it now. Is like getting it because it was very family focused. Like the whole point was like,
I showed Annabelle the video. She is super pumped.
Oh, good. Yeah.
She's like, can we do that right now? I'm like, sure, in November.
Yeah. So it's just like, I just felt like this is so like, home is where the health is where the home, whatever. Just with the shake and the workout, it's like they're really trying to make it more of like we're getting the kids because let's prevent it. Like let's not have obesity. And so for me, it was just it's more than just my family. It's like, yes, like I go and I do see these kids that are overweight or that have all these problems, and it's like super sad. So
well, and how many kids do you, or coaches do you see posting that their kids participate, and then those kids go to school, and then they talk, they're like little mini freaking coaches.
Yeah, exactly.
And then that kid says to that kid, and they're like, "Hey, mom, so and so was talking about this."
Right. I'm weaning, not breastfeeding. I'm weaning off of wine. Our hotel had a free cocktail hour. every night, 5:30 to 7:30. I was like,
nice.
so like the events would start. I'm like, gotta go down to the lobby and get our free cocktail. And also in New Orleans, you can walk without alcohol, like in the streets. So they like, it's like their law there, like and restaurants give to-go cups. Isn't that
awesome.
crazy?
Fun.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That was very fun. So, because I had my stroller, Jake's like, this is weird. Like, you have a to-go cup of wine and we're pushing our baby down the street. But anyway, so, yeah, that one I'm excited about, the partner workout. I don't even remember what it's called.
Double time.
Oh my God. And then,
right?
Yeah. Oh, here's a big one that would affect you guys. There's a diamond bonus now. So if you're a 1-star or below and you hit diamond or hold diamond, whichever, if you hit diamond, so like this, we're in the third quarter. So July, August, and September. If you all you have to have it is 6 weeks of that quarter. So if you have diamond for 6 weeks in a quarter, so fourth quarter would be October, November, December, then you get $250. So I thought that was cool. It's just like a little bit more incentive, than, because you don't get a bonus until 2-star, and it's pooled. Like sometimes it's really big, but it's just like a percentage, and it's pooled and divided by all the 2-stars. Where this, they're just flat $250 for a diamond. So I thought that was really cool. Oh, but you have to hit Success Club like one of the months, I think, or the month prior. I don't really get that part. But that was cool. What was the other ones? I had them written down somewhere. I don't know. I lost them. I have 2 notebooks, so like... And it was perfect because I got them really last minute at Walmart when we were going. And this is the one that was on the front of the package. It just says like Free Spirit Wild Heart. And I was like, oh, that's cute. This is the only one left. And it was like $5. Well, it said 2 notebooks. This one says, and I didn't even know it till I opened it, your vibe attracts your tribe. And I was like,
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So that was cool. I don't know. Here we go. Oh, the 10% for Beachbody On Demand. So right now how it's always been that you get a 10% discount when you're a Beachbody On Demand member, but we never really cared but until now, because it's like everybody's a Beachbody On Demand customer because they got all access. So now there's really no incentive to become a discount coach. There's not a lot of incentive because it's like, I think after taxes and shipping or whatever, they're paying like $123 maybe for Shakeology. But if they're a discount coach, they pay like $116-ish, right? So they're only saving like $6, $7 a month. So that's being removed in September. So I'm like, well, that's cool. So that was probably definitely a coach advisory board thing. Like, hey, we it's still nice to get people to get the discount coaching. So I think that's all I have for announce. I know there were more announcements, but the only ones I wanted to like talk about and explain. So did you guys have any questions about that stuff? Or just about Summit in general? We had like a day before the craziness started. So we went to like the Katrina Museum, which was awesome. And we went.
I saw that.
Yeah.
That was cool.
It was really cool because I did not know. Like I only remember like the cleanup of Katrina. I didn't know like all the breakdown in communication and like how like people knew that this would happen because of the levees and like all that stuff. So it was sad, but it was really good. I'm glad that we went. And then we walked on Bourbon Street because I was like, we have to just like see what the heck, but we went during the day. It was like noon. And
it probably still smelled.
I didn't smell anything. I mean, I'm stuffed up, but it honestly, it reminded me of Nashville. It reminded me of Broadway. I didn't go at night, but it reminded me of Broadway, just how it's like tons of places to eat, tons of bars.
Yeah.
Like popping in and out. And we popped in one place, and it was just really fun to talk to the locals. Like, and we always asked, like, how long have you lived here? And then like, oh, so were you here for Katrina? And then they would like tell us their story. So
yeah,
it was really fun. And we ate awesome. I think I gained 10 pounds. We just like ate and ate and ate. And like, so everywhere you go, it's like seafood. Like, so, I mean, you can get non-seafood, but it's just like all over. So we just like ate it up. That was really fun. And I don't know. The Success Club party was really cool. So I was even telling Jake, I was like, it's not going to be that cool. Like, and he's like, yes, it is. It's going to be fun. Because last year it was a Billy Idol concert. So it was like, I don't know. It was like bigger. I don't know. So I just wasn't expecting. I was like, Mardi Gras World. It's going to be like a little reception. And it just said that there were free desserts. So I was like, well, it was awesome. It was really cool because we walked in. I don't know if you saw my live video, but we walked in and saw all the different parade floats and stuff. And it was just
like every single person who snapped about that, like literally everybody on my Snap feed went there, and every single person was like, this is the creepiest thing ever. With like taking a video of that.
I loved it. I thought
it was so funny because I'm like, I just wanted to be like, you guys are all there. Go say hi to each other. But you don't know each other.
I know, we're all like, it was awesome. And it was like in this huge warehouse. But then you get out, and then we're outside, and there's like beignet trucks. There's like different dessert trucks that you can line up for, and bars and stuff. And then there was a band outside. But then we go inside, and it was just like this beautiful building. And then they're like, go into the courtyard. And we went into the courtyard, but it was indoors, but it looked like you were outside. It was so weird. It was like trees and like a fake sky. It was beautiful, but it was indoors. It was so strange.
That's cool.
And then there was a band inside in this other room, which I think, and I did video. I went live on that one. And Bethany got on stage, she's Melinda's coach. So they pulled up, they like had a few volunteers come up, and they did Tina Turner, and Bethany twerked on stage, and I videotaped it. It was awesome. So Bethany and I became friends.
That's fantastic.
Because she went into this whole thing like, not sure about coaching and stuff, and, just not really knowing. And then we just got to know each other, and it was fun. So anyway, but yeah, I'm excited to start using this stuff. But the Daily Sunshine is for sale. It's like out there. So what I need to find out is, because like right now, somebody just gave me a bag of Shakeology, my sister-in-law. So I've got too much Shakeology. Or I've got enough Shakeology. So I'm like, well, can I cancel my HD without it affecting my Success Club and get the Daily Sunshine HD? Because usually I think it's just 90 PV that's on HD, I think. So I need to find that out, because I would like to order the Sunshine stuff. I think my kids love Shakeology, and they drink that. But like, why not? I just want, why not try something else?
Well, I want to try it at least.
And I think it'll be a huge.
Them try it.
I think it'll be it's funny. I feel like it's gonna get way more traction than Shakeology with my followers, just because like people care about their kids more than they care about themselves.
And as soon as it says certified, blah 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 blah,
yeah,
they're gonna be all over it.
Yeah, it's like moms are like,
because I think it's the not certified that people hesitate on. Yeah.
Some of my people do, but for a lot of them, it's just like I can't. They're just more like, I just can't justify it, and they feel like guilty spending their family budget.
But then you say it's for your kids, and
then they're like, well, my kid's a picky eater, and we're eating hot dogs all the time, so like at least get something into them. So how was the wedding, Amanda?
Oh, it was good. It was wonderful, actually.
Was
Everything
it?
turned out perfect. So yeah,
Good.
it really was. It was a beautiful day, and I don't think it could have been better. So,
Which sibling
and
was
she
it?
was very happy with it too. It was Jimmy's brother. His younger brother Matt got married to.
Cool.
I went to Olivet with her. We graduated together and didn't know each other until Matt met her. And he's like, I've got this first grade teacher I really like. I think you'd love her. It's like, oh, I remember you. So.
Oh, that's funny. What's her name?
Nice. I'm glad she's in the family. Yeah. Jillian Erdahl.
Yeah, I don't know if I know her. So, and your dress fit?
It fit.
Good.
It fit, yep.
That's
Huge
exciting.
accomplishment.
Yes, that's exciting.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, I look like I'm 3 months pregnant right now. I'm so bloated. I'm like, oh my gosh, is this food baby ever going to go down? So I'm going to do shift shop. I'm starting on Monday, next Monday. Are you guys going to do it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know some people started today just because they could. But I know like Beachbodyland, like people are starting. I think it's going to be epic because I think, and that's the other thing I wanted to say was there's a surge on Wednesday night which is like a call with Carl, and he has Chris Downing coming on. And so I think my hunch is that they're going to talk about the Shift Shop Challenge group, like, because I think Chris Downing is going to get in the app. Like, I think we're going to hear from him, like, in the group, and that'll be cool.
Pretty cool.
He is awesome. Like, I don't know. He's just so cool. Like, I cried during his 10-minute section, because the super workout is every single trainer has 10 minutes. Right? So Sagi is like, what are you doing? Like, some people love Sagi, but I'm just like, I like him as a person, but like I was like, I don't know what you're doing. But everyone else was great. Shalene, she was like preaching. And Jake was like, wow. He's like, everything that she says. I'm like, yeah.
I'm telling you, she is like a golden nugget.
Gosh, every word that comes out, like everything that she did and said and everything in her workout. She was the first one. She was the warm-up.
Yeah.
She was so good. And then, but Chris Downing was awesome too. Like, he just like makes you, And so then they had him on stage Thursday night. They pulled him up, and I don't even know what happened, like why, but just because the way the crowd reacted, like everyone was just like so thankful and loves him. And, you know, people were in the coach test group and having these insane results. He cried on stage. Like, he like got emotional, and it was just like, so he's really cool. And I'm really excited because I need that. Like, I need like the mindset, because I'm like, I got weight to lose and I'm so out of habit. Like, it's going to be hard. So I'm really excited about that. And I want more people in it. Like, I'm like, it's like driving me to message. Like, I'm really going to message people that have been on the fence for this year and be like, I really think you need to do this, because I know that it will work for them. You know what I mean? Like, I know it will. I've seen the results. He's amazing. I've seen the meal plan, and it's good. So I'm like, come on, do it.
I think it just needs to be stressed that it's like a step up one. It's not like Insanity where you go in and you're going hard. Like, you progress up.
Yeah. Yeah. And, yeah. But I think for me, I just need to message people, because I've been relying on like my little call outs, like on Facebook. It's getting a little bit of, you know, here and there, but I need to like go in and like encourage people. Like, I really think you just need to do this. And like,
well, I keep thinking I need to do a video of it, but
what?
A lot of people, they want to hear about the modifier. Like, oh, there's like I can modify it. Like, that's a big thing, because people don't think they can do it right off the bat.
Yeah, sure. I'm modified. So can you videotape and do the modification?
Well, that's the only way I can do it.
So there you go. I've only done one workout. I've only done one of it, Shift Shop. So anyway, it was great, and it was exciting and fun and super motivating. But now I'm like, I'm ready to. But yeah, I would get on the Surge if you can on Wednesday. I wish we could have a party, like a Surge party, and all watch it together. But
right,
you guys can. All you Kankakee. I'm like, it's so funny because you're not even Like you guys, like you, Ashley and Amanda, or you, Kelly and Amanda, or all three of you guys are like not.
And Lisa, right?
Well, Lisa is Amanda's coach.
Isn't she over here too?
Yeah.
Right.
She's in Limestone.
Where's she at? Where does she live?
It's Kankakee address, but she lives in Limestone.
Yeah.
Limestone, which is a Kankakee address, but it's its own.
And then
she's my morning workout buddy.
Yeah, and then Stephanie Grove is she's not coaching right now, but she's Kelly's.
She's in like Mantino all the time. I see her all the time, like her posts.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's so funny. Like we haven't run into each other.
Yeah. So you guys just take over that city. We'll be good to go. Anyway. Okay. Well, I'm excited, and let me know if you need like want to get on a call or something and like talk about goals or strategy or what, you know what I mean? Like what you need to do, what you want to do, stuff like that. But I do encourage you to write a list, even, it doesn't have to be a board, of like your wildest dreams and like what you want to accomplish if you had unlimited money, unlimited time, and then let that fuel you and your habits and your actions and stuff. I also just listened to a call and I just posted it in our team page.
The gangster rep one?
Yes. So I didn't watch that. Like she posted that. That was like a month ago. And I skipped over it because I was like, meh, what's this? Well, or I just actually was like, she plays gangster rap while she does her connections. So I thought that's all that it was about. Well, there was a special event at Summit that you had to pay extra for, and it wasn't put on by Beachbody. It was put on by Josh Coat, like Beachbody coaches. So anyway, this girl was invited because of this video. So I guess she did this video and it blew up and everyone was like, this is awesome. And so then she got invited to speak. She's highly introverted, like extremely, extremely shy. Is this a child coming in here? She's extremely shy, very introverted. And so I guess she was like having like a panic attack or something, I don't know, before she went on stage. And she kind of talks about that a lot in her talk, but this just happened at Summit. And so I asked Molly, how did the event go? And she goes, it was good. She goes, there was one speaker, I think she might have been drunk. And I was like, what? And she's like, well, she was slurring. And so then I heard from Joy Hawk, I think that's a kid. Anyway, that she was so incredibly nervous that she did a shot before she went on stage.
Oh.
Am I being too loud? No, you want Daddy? Okay. Sorry. So anyway, they said she like shot or something, and so she in the beginning and I guess I don't think she like drinks or whatever, so it like affected her. But anyway, so that got me curious, like who is this girl? So then I went back and watched it today, and I watched it twice because I was like, I watched it the first time and I didn't have a pen and paper, and I was like, this is really helpful. So she talks, Amanda, I think you would like love it because she shares about her personal story and also her extreme shyness. I mean, she's very blunt, but also she tells you exactly like what she says to people when she's connecting with them. She does 26 connections every other day. And she like explains who she's connecting to. She's like, the first group is this. And I was like, oh my gosh, it was so easy. It was so simple. I was like, oh, okay, I can do that. And she says what she says, and it's so natural. And like, I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. Then the second day, every other day, she's like, so don't respond to these people right away. Like when they comment back, you don't, or they message you back, like, no, do your other stuff. Like get your stuff done. Check in your challenge group. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway. And then the next day, she doesn't do the 26 names. She just chats it with those people. But she just made so many good points. And I feel like I got that vibe at Summit in general about your tribe, like about your best friends. Like, you're inviting, like, it's okay if someone, like she said, like, if someone's super boring and they just respond like, you're welcome, or like, you know, they're just like the one word answers, like, she's like, whatever, like, then you probably don't, like, that's not your person. Like, that's not who you want to be friends with anyway. Well, some people do, but like, that's not who you want, you know. So that was helpful for me. Like, you're making room for people that, and that's kind of what Summit reminds me of, like, because she even said, she's like, my team, not in the beginning necessarily, but now she's like, the ones like at Summit, she's like, it's like a bunch of me, like, we're so, and I was like, oh, that's good. So anyway, that's all I got. So Eileen is in the hospital.
Oh.
I don't know if I'm supposed to say that. Did she say that in our thread?
She said she was on her way to get like antibiotics or something.
Okay. So yeah. Oh, so she must be out. So she was nervous about some fluid and stuff. So, I think she's good, but she couldn't be on. And then Melinda had already planned like a date night with her husband because they've been gone. You know, she's been gone. So they're both going to go live, this week at some point, share their perspective or like takeaways. Because I was like, I really want to hear Melinda and Bethany because they're first time Summit goers. So I think that would be cool to hear like what they have to say.
Yeah.
The Surge is Wednesday, and then I wanted to register for Team Cup, but not everybody's on. So I'll just have to do it anyway. I know, like, I guess I wanted to ask. I think Natalie wants to be on a team. She said that.
She mentioned. Mm-hmm.
Lisa, I don't think, she's just like, I don't know what it is, you know, which makes sense.
Lisa told me when I talked to her on the phone, she wasn't necessarily wanting to get into the business end of it because she's super overwhelmed.
Okay.
And she's not a salesperson. I said, well, you're not supposed to be a salesperson. Just live your life and share your story.
Uh-huh.
And I encouraged her to check out the clean eating group, which she started it today. So she seemed to, at first she's like, no, I don't think I'm going to do any of that. Okay, just all at your time, whenever you're comfortable doing that.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I'm getting invites and all this, and she's doing a great job. So I don't know. I can message her again and see if she would. She's she's starting a new job. Well, she's a teacher, and so she's at a new